You know, at the same time, you got to respect the competition that he's been racing against, too. I mean, the level of competition in the divisions that he races is just amazing. And not saying it wasn't during your time, but nowadays, man, the equipment that everybody's got so much more even, the training schools and the academies and the focus that these families put on it, you know, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit.
It does a lot. And like you said about the training schools and the platform these kids are training at, it's so gnarly that they're at such a young age, they're groomed to be the next Carmichael. And here we go, gate drop. And the whole shot goes to, maybe look for Vincent Way, possibly getting the whole shot again, maybe up the inside.
27.
That looks like it's him.
It's him, Vincent Way, out of now Marietta, California. I wonder if we can call him part of the Michigan Mafia.
I definitely would agree, Rodney. He definitely taken after his father, Nick Way, and getting the whole shot. So that's pretty dang impressive with Vincent Way getting the whole shot.
And we'll see how things sort out as we roll through this first lap of racing. Is that a number 39? That would be Miles McCarty. He finished 7th in Moto number 1. And number 2 back there, that is Seth Denis. Yep.
Oh, he got the double out of the corner into the 10 Commandments. Look at that. Doubled his way right into the lead. And just like that, Seth Denis in first place.
Ooh, little mistakes there by Way, but he regains composure coming out of the 10 Commandments. And he's got that number 9 machine of McCarty right behind him as they head into the Storyland.
Heading back into Storyland right now. Seth Denis has got the lead with Vincent Way in second place right now.
Riders continuing to jockey for position. Riders will be looking for the 20.
Big crash right here. We got 2 riders down, number 58 and 20 going down together. And, 2 more riders, 3 more riders.
Ooh.
Oh, we got us a pile up in the back.
Oh, mercy. Darren Pine on board the number 58. Parker Shields, the number 20, off to a good start, it looks like. But unfortunately, going to take themselves back in the pack now. As we catch back up with our front runners, there's the 22 of Jonathan Getz, it looks like, who has taken over one of the front positions. And now we're nearing the completion of this as we see our riders now starting to make their way into what I call the heart of this Loretta Lynn race course, up and over that Kawasaki Camelback and into this Thor sweeper turn around Lake Polysport.
I tell you what, Rodney, these 2 riders out front, Seth Denis and Vincent Way, they are on the gas right now.
Yes, they most certainly are. Actually, that is the 22, or excuse me, the 2 machine. I called it 22, but Getz, we will be looking for that rider right now as Way holding on to a comfortable and strong second place position. Still the number 9 back there in the number 3 spot of Miles McCarty. And there is
Here comes Getz right here.
Getz finally checking in. He had to work his way up through the pack. He's up to a 4th place position as we wrap up lap number 1. And he's got Mason Rayner, the 13, in 5th place right behind him. The 55, Jonathan George in 6th. Ryder Ellis is 7th. Cole Blecha, 8th aboard the 52. Hogan Mims, the number 70, is 9th. Karen Lynch, the number 73, in 10th. Tristan Pruitt, 77, is 11th. Griffin Alfala, he is 12th. He's the 36th. Darren Pine, he's back up in 13th place position. So he had a pretty good run going there in the early part of this. 13th place aboard the 58. The 21 Talon Staggs is 14th. And Caden Dudney rounds out the top 15 aboard the 40.
It's going to be interesting, Rodney, to see how far Getz can get up there. If he can get back up in the second and make this a 1-2, 2-1. Going into the 3rd moto, it would be a tie between Seth Denis and Jonathan Getz.
Well, I tell you, he had to work through a lot of carnage to get to that 4th place position. We saw it happening out there in Storyland, and that might be where the story of this moto may be told for Getz, because he was able to make up several positions as riders went down out there, it looked like. And in doing so, he pulls to within, now it looks he's about 10 seconds out of the front of the pack of Seth Denis as we cross the finish line at the end of that first lap. We'll keep an eye on that to see how he's closing on not only the riders in front of him, but as well the 1st place position, which is obviously something he's running and gunning and looking to shoot for.
Vincent Way just went down on screen. That's unfortunate. He's got to do a U-turn, get back on the track safe. That's very unfortunate. He's going to lose second now. That's going to put Miles McCarty into second.
Wow, and a lot of riders not far behind as the second lap is nearing completion. So a lot of riders able to get by in a short amount of time. We'll see where that puts Way back to, but we'll also get to see how hard Way can fight back up through the pack as this moto wears on. Only 4 minutes into a 15-minute moto, so we still have just under 11 minutes left to go. Leader checking in about any time. I believe that's him coming under the Lucas Oil banner now. And wow, Seth Denis is making a statement here in Moto 2.
He's got a big gap now that Vincent Way lost second when he went down. He's looking up at upwards of almost 30 seconds lead at the end of this second lap.
Mercy sakes alive. Gatz now into the second place position. He just pulled up on the number 9 of Miles McCarty as
Got him.
And he got by him, and here comes another rider running and gunning too. That's the 52 of Cole Blaka. He's up from 8th place position there on lap number 1. So here's the new running order. It is Seth Denis out front. Jonathan Getz 19.2 seconds back in the number 2 position. Blaka in the number 3 spot aboard the 52. McCarty now in 4th. Mason Rayner rounding out the top 5 with Jonathan George in 5th. Ryder Ellis now 7th. That's changing quite a bit. Hogan Mims in 8th. Vincent Way 9th place position he dropped back to there on the 27 and the 77 of Tristan Pruitt rounding out the top 10.
Rodney, looking at this right now, we got a 1-2-2-1 situation going into the third moto between Seth Denis and Jonathan Getz, putting us in a tie, basically winner take all in the third moto between the two.
Exactly, and I have to wonder if Jonathan Getz is going to try and make a point here in this second moto to Seth Denis to see if he can maybe put a dent in that overall lead in this, after 2 laps of racing, we're seeing near 20 seconds that Denis has. So this will be a good indicator of what that third moto could be like if Getz really makes the push here. Got to tell you, Cole Blaka is another rider that I'm somewhat impressed with that the moves that he was making there on that that second lap of racing. He made some major gains as he went through the roster there. He was back in that 8th place position and all the way back up. He just kind of latched on, I believe.
Here we go. We got a battle here still. He's pressuring Getz right now for second place in this second moto.
So he latched onto him, man, and he's not only latched onto him, he wants to be the leader.
Uh-oh, there's the pass. Maybe
no. Almost. He's got him set up. It's not over yet as we enter the Rocky Mountain Sweeper turn now as the battle for second place. Moto 1 winner Jonathan Getz is being challenged now by the 52 machine. Cole Blaka, and I'm looking down through here to see what his Moto 1 scores were looking like. He actually finished 4th in Moto 1, so he may have a little something.
Oh, there's the pass. Got him up the inside, just like that. Moves into second place. Wow, nice pass.
Very impressive, and he might be on a mission to prove something from that first Moto 2. Again, we talk about the inconsistencies there because of the start picks and so forth, and we may be starting to see the consistency part of this battle now as Blaka is up to the number 2 spot with Getz, the Moto 1 winner, back to the 3 spot, and this is getting interesting. Seth Denis, though, with these battles that are shaping up behind him, really getting a big break as he stretched that lead out now from 19 seconds to just over 22. Miles McCarty still back in the number 4 spot, Mike, and Mason Rayner now starting to put a little bit of a gain there as well on board the number 13 machine. Again, these second motos, maybe you can answer this, and I know it's been a long time since you were on a 50, but I think it's probably relative across the board. What's different about Moto 1 to Moto number 2 for a lot of these kids?
Well, the biggest difference is the gate position. Some of these riders may have picked 30s or 40s on the gate pick, which is going to put them way outside in a position where they're not going to get a great start. Where the second moto, they have a much better gate pick, and that's why they're running up front. So you're going to see a little bit of inconsistency with the results between Moto 1, Moto 2, but you can still see the cream is always going to rise to the top here in this second moto. And going into the third moto, between Seth Denis, Cole Blaka, and Jonathan Getz, it's going to be close between all 3 of them for the title.
You know, and there has to be some anxieties with a bad gate pick, and I imagine that those anxieties probably translate into mistakes or maybe even some great achievements in a moto.
Well, and you know what's crazy, and a lot of people won't realize this, but it's so mentally defeating to get a bad gate pick for your first moto. You're like, you put your hand in that bucket, you pick out a number, and it's a 30 or a 40, and it's just like, your whole enthusiasm and excitement, it just like drops instantly because of a gate pick. But that can all change with the race that's unfolds, and you can make a bad start into a good race, and that can make the whole difference.
And then that gives the rider the confidence for the second and third motos, and that's usually when we see things really start to, the gloves come off, I guess.
It's trying not to let the gate pick, get you down before the race even starts. And at the end of the day, it is just a gate pick, but you got to fight through it, the adversity. And that's just that's how Loretta's is. You have to fight through the adversity to win a championship.
Well, right now, Seth Denis seems to be on track to do just exactly that. After finishing second in Moto 1, he is leading here in Moto 2 after 4 laps of racing. He had a 22-second gap over Blaka and Jonathan Getz, who were battling for that number 2 spot. And as we wrap up lap number 4 for these riders, Blaka now 23.6 seconds back, loses about a second or so, second and a half, I guess, if you look at that. And then Jonathan Getz, a 2:30.6, 2.5 more seconds back behind him. So guys are starting to settle into position. There's Rayner now. He caught McCarty. He's gotten around. So Rayner's up to the 4th place position. McCarty now in 5th. And look at this.
Vincent Way.
Up to 6th from 9th.
Back to 6th. That's pretty impressive. He went back down to like 10th. And he's charged himself back up into the top 6.
Yeah, pretty impressive. So this is, like I said, this is where he's proven his worth, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. He's a good whole shot rider, and looks like he's good for making up some time also.
We are 10 minutes into this second moto. We have 4 minutes and 19 seconds to go before the checkered flag. I'm looking at Seth Denis to go into the third moto with a 2-1, 3 points altogether. And Jonathan Getz with a 1-3, that's 4 points. So basically, it's another situation where basically whoever beats who wins the title.
Yeah, and that's the fun part of Loretta Lynn's in these amateur national championship finals. And like we were talking yesterday, though, we were talking about inconsistencies and things like that, but sometimes it may not be necessarily winning the races that are consistent. It's just finishing the best consistently moto after moto after moto.
Well, you have to endure all the elements with good starts and being consistent, being up front, and the other elements of your bike braking or the bad weather or circumstances that are out of control. I mean, that's how you win Loretta's. You have to be consistent, but you have to have the biggest thing, Rodney, is luck.
All right, now tell me this. Is a 7, 8, or 9-year-old kid thinking on that level right now?
That's a tough question right there. Unfortunately, probably not. Their whole focus is just race and have fun and do the best that they can. And at such a young age, they're not really thinking about calculating points.
That's something that mom and dad and the teams and stuff like that are doing for them, right?
Exactly, Rodney.
They're just out there cheering them on. They just know they want to go out and ride the best race they can, maybe, and likely win. That's what they're out there to do.
Well, like I said, this is the beginning right here to being the next Carmichael or Stewart or Villapoto. It starts right here, right now in this 51.78 class in the limited.
That's right, the launch pad, if we will. There's Blaka and Getz.
Flag.
White flag is out, and we're going to have to get set up for a podium and ready to interview three very excited young men as they are all looking at the possibility of a national championship title. Wow, Seth Denis, runner-up last year, looked like, and I'm sure felt like maybe a runner-up may be imminent here after first moto, but he had a point to prove. Comes out here in the second moto, gets off to a great start and quickly moves to the front of the pack and has pretty much not looked back as we near the completion of lap number 6 here soon. We will see, well, right now, a 26-second deficit between himself and second place, and he's got to be feeling pretty confident after this one's over.
I tell you what, Rodney, when he made that pass on Vincent Way on the first lap in the 10 Commandments, he took off. He said, see you later. You guys enjoy second. I'm out of here. I'm going to win this race and set myself up to win the championship in the third moto.
It was almost like a sonic boom that kind of set Vincent Way into a little bit of a bobble there.
It threw him all off because it happened so quickly and so fast that when he went by him,
yeah,
it threw him off. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and then he ends up dropping back to 9th, up to 6th, now back to 7th. So Way's got his own work cut out for him here in Moto number 2, but Seth Denis slicing right through this Loretta Lynn race course and headed home for Checkers, and the lead as far as the points race is concerned in the championship title fight here.
Oh, did you see that? He gave a little look over to that kid as he was going by, and that was pretty cool.
That's confidence right there. through the Thor sweeper turn around Polysport Lake, and now under that Lucas Oil banner, through those rollers, and right
Here
to
it
the
is,
checker
into the
flag.
last corner, and your winner is going to be Seth Denis here in Moto number 2.
Yeah.
Congratulations, that's cool. Thumbs up to mom and dad, fist pump. Heck yeah, I'm going to the podium.
That's right. He knows he gets to go talk to Jason Wygant down there, so he's pretty pumped up for that. Waiting on second place to still check in. Looks like it's still Cole Blaka, man. What a good performance out of him, and I'm not taking anything away from his Moto 1 performance, but to be able to come out, and he made some moves quick, too, to get to where he was.
And this puts him in a good position still for the third moto for the title with a 4-2. That gives him 6 total points. Seth Denis will have 3 with a 2-1. So anything is possible for Cole Blaka to get this title in the third moto with a little bit of luck. So, here comes Jonathan Getz in third. So that's going to put Jonathan with a 1-3, so that's 4 points. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be, basically, like I said, a winner-take-all in the third moto.
Mason Rayner should be checking in the number 4 spot, and Ryder Ellis checks in the number 5 spot as we look at our Rocky Mountain top 10 leaderboard. And of course, we see Miles McCarty 6th, Landon Gibson 7th, Caden Dudney in 8th, Tristan Pruitt in 9th, and Vincent Way experiencing problems again on that final lap. He drops out of the top 10, and Jonathan George will round out your top 10 as we head down to the Racetech podium, where Jason Wygant stands by to talk to all 3 of our riders, who one of will be likely a national champion after that third moto.
Well, I guarantee you, yes, that is for sure. Someone will be the national champion after the third moto. Obviously, it's a big question who that will be. Send it Seth Denis, staking his claim with a big moto win there. KTM people are pumped. Tell you what, it's not easy to figure out exactly how it's going to work in the 50cc divisions. They're scouting riders that are very young. They mature at different times. You never know who's going to be fast when we get here to Loretta's. But we definitely got one now. Oh, the long hair. What happened to the long hair? Man. You can hang out too. I like this. You can stay here. Yeah. Yeah, you can stay. I like that. All right. Family affair here. Let's hear it for our moto winner, Seth Denis. Dude, you got a good look going here. Got the family up on the podium. How'd the moto go, Seth?
It was just kind of right off the start. I had to make the passes off the start. Then just slowly pulled a gap and tried to stay consistent through the whole moto.
All right, what about Moto 3, man? What are you going to do to prepare for that one? You going to be on the road bike out there just training and training and training, or are you just going to chill out?
I'll probably just chill out.
That's the spirit. All right, who do you want to thank, Seth?
My mom, my dad, my sister, Orange Gain, XL, Dunlop, Elusive Gloves, Scott, Nost, 60, Pro Taper, FMF, I think Asterix, Nihilo, and that's all.
All right, looking good and winning. Hard to beat that. Let's hear it for Seth Denis. All right, that's cool. We're going to get second and third place up. You two can go hang out, chill. They're not going to put him on the road bike. Not going to tell him to train in the road bike, of which he couldn't even fit one anyway. All right, awesome competition and some solid consistency, by the way, in this class. Here, come on up to the center. Stand right there. There we go. Second place, Cole Blaka. Blaka, now we got it. All right, somewhere in here I have a silver medal for you. And here it is. All right, Cole Blaka, second place, Moto medal. You can brag to all the kids at home when you bring that back. How'd the Moto go for you?
Just had a terrible start. I was just trying to work my way through the pack, and then I just felt really clean, good, and smooth.
Yeah, you rode well. I'll tell you what, you took on some roost, though. It's not easy out there, is it?
Yeah, just a lot of roost.
Tough, though. Who do you want to thank, Cole?
Race Tech, Answer 60, Nihilo, 100%. And everybody else, thank you.
See that? Race Tech podium right here. And there is our winner. Second place now, Cole Blaka. Cole Blaka. All right. All right, Cole. Good job. That's second place, and we're going to bring Getz, who gets third and a bronze medal. This kid's been fast all week. Let's hear it for Jonathan Getz. Well, you've been riding really well every time you're out there. Tell me about that moto.
It was hard.
Why was it hard?
It was deep and it was rough.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who do you want to thank, Jonathan?
Belle, my mom and dad. 100%. Remastered. DM Racing. FMX. T2 Graphics. Evan.
There it is. Let's hear it for Jonathan Getz, third place. We got a whole shot award here. We got a whole shot award winner, Tim Clark from Bell Helmets, helping us out. Okay. Telling you what, this dude has got the starts dialed. Let's hear it for our Bell Helmets whole shot award winner, Vincent Way. We're going to have you go back and teach your dad some lessons on starts. How'd the rest of the moto go?
Not so well. I tipped over a lot.
Yeah. Track's tough, right?
Yeah.
All right. What are you going to do in Moto 3?
Get a good start and hopefully stay in the lead.
All right, Vincent, who do you want to thank?
My mom, my dad, Cobra, grandma and grandpa's, my Moto crew, Mariah, Scott, Answer, and everybody else I forgot. Thank you.
Bell Helmets whole shot award, Vincent Way. All right. Send it back up to the tower.